Hello everyone, I am Taylor Wylie, a senior marketing major here at Alabama A&M, and today we will be diving in to talk about women in sports. I have two lovely special guests with me who work in the athletics department here at Alabama A&M. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yes. Hi everyone. I am Amirah Robinson, a senior marketing major from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I work in the athletics department in the marketing department.
Hi everyone, my name is Amirah Ali. I'm also a senior marketing major from Alexandria, Virginia, and I work in fan engagement in the athletics department.
Okay. So today we're just going to talk about a few things with women in sports because I just feel like it's just been a really big topic, these days because women are kind of diving more into sports and getting noticed a little bit more. And with you guys working in sports and working in the athletics department here at an HBCU, we just want to get a little bit of insight and just know a little bit on what a day-to-day life may look like in your shoes. Sports. So, with that being said, our first question for me would just be like, what does it mean to be a woman in sports, like a woman in sports to you?
I would say for me, being a woman in sports, like being that when people think of sports or just athletics in general, like you mainly see males. The women don't really get seen as much.
That's right.
And it's very hard to like adapt to that environment when it's like male dominated. And at least for us, in the department we work in, it's like it's females like that have higher up positions. So it's kind of good to see like and work in that environment to know like, okay, like they could do it, I could do it type of thing.
Right.
Correct. Absolutely 100% factual.
Yeah, for me, it does mean a lot. Like it's something that I've always had an interest in ever since I was like in high school. Even before that, like grew up around sports. I played sports growing up, but I think even more so than that, like when you're able to work in sports, you learn so much more about like what is actually going on the inside, which I've always like had a knack for, because there's so much that happens behind the scenes, and then like people will come in and see a game, but so much has already happened like before that first tip off or that first kickoff, and I like being able to work in that environment. But I also think like to me, like being a woman in sports means just someone who's like able to show up as yourself every single day and explore your passions. I think that's really important, especially being in college.
Get going and keep going.
So the fact that I've been able to do that through like working in sports the last couple of years, like it's something that I'm very grateful for. So I take it like very seriously because it's something that I'm really passionate about.
All right. That's amazing. That is amazing.
I agree. Yeah.
So with our next question, that kind of leads to our next question. Our next question is just, what are some barriers that stand in the way of women in sports? Because like you stated, even though it is a male-dominated profession, women are coming in and taking over, I want to say. So I just want to ask, like, what are some barriers that you think women run into when trying to achieve a profession in sports?
Think.
I would say just being a woman can be hard going into a male-dominated space.
Right.
And being a black woman is even harder going into these spaces where we're not welcome, where we're not meant to be heard. Just sit there, be quiet, and listen.
That makes me so sad, though.
Especially like being in sports. Like recently when we had the, I think they had like a little like summit last week.
Yeah, the sports business summit.
And she was speaking to us. Yeah, she was speaking to us about like how she's like HR for the Buccaneers, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And like when she goes into spaces, she was the HR for the Broncos, and not really like struggling me like, okay, like she's a black woman.
Yeah.
Like she was being real with us and letting us know like it can be done. So I was just like, okay, like that was inspiring.
Yeah, kind of just piggybacking off of what Maya was saying. I think like a lot of times people have like misconceptions about women who want to work in sports. Like sometimes people think that women want to work in sports like for the wrong reason, so they're just trying to like get with the players, right? exactly, or do stuff like that. So I feel like you constantly have to just like advocate for yourself, because people are always gonna have like that kind of bias against you.
Right.
But I feel like as long as you like prove that you are trying to do it for the right reasons, and like you're passionate about the work, and you're willing to like show up every single day, do your best and stuff like that, then like it'll come with it. I think that that's like part of it, unfortunately, because we are women, and like Maya was saying, like being a black woman, you know, that, and especially like being in corporate space in sports, like that adds another layer. But it's just like you just gotta go that much harder.
But what it's about is not giving up. If you have a dream, fight for it. There's a discipline for passion, and it's not about how many times you get rejected or but you fall down or you're beaten up. It's about how many times you stand up and are brave and you keep on going. Thank you.
Right, right. And I think that does tie into the fact of not only just women working in sports, but when it comes to female athletes as well. Like,
For sure.
Even just with the prime example with the NBA versus the WNBA, there's a significant pay difference in how much they get paid. There's a significant difference in how many fans attend the games. There's just a big difference when it comes to females versus males in certain sports and in certain professions that involve sports that women are trying to work in.
Right.
As we go into our next question is just being like, growing up with an interest in sports, who were some of the women that you kind of looked up to, or kind of just always had your eye on, or just wanted to kind of imitate what they did, or just looked up to in general?
For me, I would say, growing up in sports, I played sports myself, volleyball, basketball, stuff like that. But my brother kind of introduced me to like the sports world, like the business side of things.
My brother!
So it was just like, okay, like, and I really like had a knack for like the creativity side of marketing, and also when you combine it with sports, I was like, okay, like I think I could do this for myself. So it wasn't necessarily for me like somebody that I looked up to and wanted to be like, but as I did my more research and got into marketing, sports marketing, it seemed like it is a woman dominated profession, and it can be. So I was okay.
For me, mine is like a little bit similar. Like I grew up around sports, playing sports, but when I got to high school, one of my brother's like best friends was working in sports at the time, and then my brother and I are 5 years apart. So when I was like towards senior year of college, going into my freshman year of college, she was like working for different leagues and professional teams. So I really like had an interest in what she was doing, and I like even reached out to her when I was decided that I wanted to pursue it, and I like asked her for advice and everything like that.
I love it!
Her name is Victoria, so shout out to her. And then I think like on like a global scale, like televised and stuff like that, Malika Andrews, when I got to college, like I was always watching her, and then Maria Taylor, like I watch her all the time when she's commentating and everything like that. So, and those are all black women, so just knowing that there's people that look like me, like in the space that I want to go in, I think that's like so important, especially when you're like starting out early. So yeah.
And also like the even the women who work here are like like the creativity that they have here. Like I was just like, okay, wow, like all the conferences that they go to, like Kayla, she works with the football team. And like I've seen like all the conferences she goes to, stuff like that. I was like, okay, wow, like these people that really can do this profession, so if they can do it.
And for our last question, it's just, I mean, with the whole podcast, you guys kind of touched on it, but I think with our last question, let's just tie in just a little bit of advice that you would give a young girl who's trying to start off in sports, or who's aspiring to work in sports when she grows up.
I would say, especially if you're coming into college, take advantage of your athletics department. Take advantage of the opportunities that they give you. Take advantage of the relationships that you could build here, and that can help you in the long run.
Go for it!
Just really dive into what you want to do and be passionate about it and do the work. Like, just and enjoy it also. Don't always take it as a job. Take it as a learning experience, because you're learning every day as you do it. We're still learning, even to this day with our jobs. Seniors about to graduate, so we're still learning, and it's going to help you in the long run. So just take advantage of opportunities, and don't ever think that you're not good enough for a position or that you can't do it, because you can.
Yeah, I would. That was great. I was gonna say that, but I would also say, like, don't be afraid to start out small. Like, I think that a lot of times people see like the glamorous side of like professional sports and like the leagues, like you have NFL and NBA, MLB, and stuff like that, which is great. Like, you know, but I think that it's totally fine to even like start in your community. Like even if you're in high school, like look at what you can do with like your high school teams. Even if it's not a sport, even if you don't play a sport, like you can still be integrated in some way. And like what Maya was saying in college, like don't sleep on collegiate athletics. Like there's so much that goes into that.
That's a good point, but
or even like minor league teams or something like that in your city, and I think that's really important. Also, like definitely network. I remember being told like you should never leave that conversation without a question. So like if you're meeting someone, don't be afraid to ask them like anything, or maybe like connect on LinkedIn, or even if it's super casual, like ask for their number or something like that. Obviously like in a professional sense. But yeah, just don't be afraid to like start out small, because everything in sports is going to be like a platform. You're going to constantly learn and grow. So I think that that's really important.
Thank you, lovely ladies, for those women in sports gems, you know, because I do feel like women in sports is an upcoming, I mean, we're taking over. Absolutely. Women are taking over any profession, not just sports, any profession, women are taking over. And if you are a young girl aspiring to be a woman in sports, do it. Do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Don't let anything show you that you can. Do whatever you put your mind to.
I say, let's do it!
But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning into our podcast. And to those and to those of you watching, thank you for watching, and please tune into our next podcast or interviews, anything that we have. And please don't forget to follow the page Boss Kidz Inc. on Instagram, LinkedIn, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey Boss Kidz Inc. family, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Before you go, we have a small favor to ask that could make a huge difference. As a nonprofit, Boss Kidz Inc. relies on the support of generous people like you to keep our mission going strong. Every donation, no matter how small, helps us create more amazing content, empower young leaders, and grow this incredible community. You can find the donation link right below this video. Your support means the world to us. And don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Thank you for being a part of the Boss Kidz Inc. family. We'll see you next time.